Brian Ortega was an up-and-coming star for the UFC that was on the verge of breaking out into UFC superstardom. However, this was all halted after a loss to Max Holloway, which gave Ortega a chance to reset and continue sharpening his skill set. Now we're seeing the new Brian Ortega enter the octagon, and he's still as charismatic and happy as ever. In this video, we'll go through Brian Ortega's rise to fame, his absence from the UFC, lifestyle, and net worth. Stick around to see how much this fighter makes each fight and his possible earnings after getting the belt. Thanks for tuning in for another lifestyle video. We appreciate all the support, and each like or subscribe goes a long way. Now let's get started. Number 1. Rise to fame. This famed fighter took the UFC by storm, not only with his charisma and smile, but with his deadly intentions inside the ring. After winning the Resurrection Fighting Championship featherweight title, Ortega was signed to the UFC and started his ascension to the top of the rankings. Along the way, he would have top fights against other fighters such as Frankie Edgar, Cub Swanson, and Renato Moicano. Not only did he step up to the challenge, Brian also won performance bonuses in each of these matchups, leading to his title fight. Some fans might consider the fact that Ortega finished each of these fighters to be more of an accomplishment. With Frankie Edgar, Ortega was able to put on the pressure early, stunning Edgar for a brief moment before going in for a kill shot. This uppercut was a thing of beauty and reportedly even had his father crying. We'll dig more into why later on. In December of 2017, for UFC Fight Night, Brian was matched up against Cub Swanson. Many saw this to be his biggest challenge. Swanson was on a win streak and having won his last two with Fight of the Night awards. Cub was always game to duke it out, and Brian, knowing his limitations of his skill set, slowed him down and then went in for a guillotine in the second round. Ortega would go on with another incredible performance against Max Holloway, and this time it was for the UFC featherweight belt. Unfortunately, Brian would fall short to another elite fighter in the division in Holloway. Having suffered his first defeat ever, Ortega would take a step back to reevaluate and reset from 2018 until 2020. Number 2. Absence from UFC. Coming back after a 2-year hiatus, many MMA fans weren't sure how Ortega would stack up in the division. Although the fighter was still young in comparison, ring rust is a real thing that many fighters have experienced. All doubts disappeared within the first round of Ortega coming back against the Korean Zombie, as we quickly saw that he has not lost a step. If anything, T-City would have an impressive performance and showed the UFC he was ready for a title shot. Mind you, the Korean Zombie wasn't an easy opponent and had won his last 2 bouts, all within the first round. This would show the fans that taking some time off from constantly sparring and working your body can do wonders. We all have seen the effects of long-term wear and tear on the body, where fighters tend to suffer from injury the more fights they need to prepare for. Do you think that fighters should take some time to reset and get better like Ortega did? Number 3. Lifestyle. As glorious as a fighter can be, there's always a story to them that grounds us in the reality of things. For Ortega, he had 2 separate lives, and growing up in the wrong side of LA, Ortega had to fight for everything and anything. In Harbor City, a neighborhood outside of LA, gang activity was rampant, especially during the 1990s and 2000s. He grew up in a low-income household, and his father used to park a motorhome in front of their building as a shield for stray bullets. Ortega knew it was a life where the only choice was to go to prison or get killed. And to get out of there, his father started him in a nearby Gracie Academy, where he learned from some of the best, ultimately leaving his life of crime behind for fighting. Ortega's new life have seen him in the news quite a few times, but it's not always about his fights. Fans might be wondering what's going on in Ortega's life, as there's been some speculation between him and Halle Berry. It was reported that Berry sought Ortega out as a coach to help her train and get ready for an upcoming film. This was clarified again as Ortega shared that it was a professional relationship and he is well experienced in coaching other students. Brian's rock and ride or die gal is his longtime girlfriend Stephanie Renee Roberts. Not surprisingly, Stephanie has worked with the Gracie team and studied kinesiology, a degree that allows her to help fighters understand motion and how to better their body. These two have been together for some time now, as they also have 2 kids together. T-City, after reining in his own life, is trying to expand his presence and help others around the world. In his last fight, Brian shaved his hair right before the fight and donated to the Locks of Love charity for children undergoing chemotherapy. While some may have speculated that he cut his hair due to a weight cut issue, it's clear that Brian has other intentions on his mind. Number 4. Net worth. T-City is estimated to have career earnings in the millions and is worth a total of $2.5 million. He's not had the same fame as other top fighters in the league, but he might just be on his way given how good he looked recently. And given his trajectory, capturing UFC gold will get this fighter back on the hype train again. Brian Ortega's fight against the Korean Zombie netted him over $470,000, and he looked great while doing it. Prior to that, at UFC 231 in 2018, Ortega fought Max Holloway for the belt and cashed in $330,000, although he didn't get the win. These kind of numbers are incredible for a fighter who's left the ring for several years. Fans are still following T-City throughout his career and cannot wait to see him back in the octagon ring again. He's a fighter that has represented his team and community well, and with that has received the love and admiration of many around the community. It's also nice to know that your average salary per fight starts around $250,000. So, what are your thoughts on this fighter? Do you recall the incredible rise to fame and buzz that surrounded Brian Ortega? Was there anything that you'd like to hear more about that wasn't covered here? Let us know in the comments below and we'll get back to you. Thanks for checking in at Knockout TV. Check out our channel and collection to find other interesting lifestyle and MMA content. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for more hot content coming out soon. Have a great day, and we'll leave you with this clip of Brian Ortega and all his greatness.
I was cutting weight and I was like, bro, I feel like shit. And there's some people who are going through some things right now, you know, like I did with the Mauiola, I visited countless of children's hospitals. Met a lot of kids who were sick with cancer, and the stories that you would see will always stay with me, you know, walking in these rooms, playing tough and making them smile, and walking out and crying your freaking tears out because you know these stories, you know. And I was suffering during the weight cut, and I haven't had a weight cut in over 2 years. And while I was suffering, I was like, man, I have to deal with this for a little bit. Some people don't have that choice. They have to deal with it every day. And I was talking about it while I was in the tub cutting weight. I was like, man, like, I don't know how some people lose weight like this constantly and go through all these therapies and everything. And maybe I was in my feelings, right? And I got emotional when I cut weight. But I was like, yo, man, I go get me the clippers right now. They're like, what? I go, get me the freaking clippers. And they thought I was just like, no, relax, Brian, relax. I was like, give me the clippers. I was like about to fight my little homie Dino. I was like, get me the fucking clippers now. And I just went straight for it, man. I was just like, I think he filmed it. I was just like, just went straight for it. I was like, we're gonna donate this. That's it. Like, it's